Hello, everybody. Welcome to a chat with Alex Trenoweth and I. We're going to chat about writing and books and all kinds of fun things. We've got a list of Ask the Astrologer questions that we're kind of going to ask each other, right, Alex?
Yes.
But first of all, because this is going on Alex's channel and mine, I'm Louise Edington, Cosmic Owl Astrology. I am the writer and publisher of Ceres in Astrology. It's coming out on August the 12th. And Alex, you are.
Yeah. Well, I've got three books. My
Oh,
very
I've
first
got
one.
four.
Okay, sorry, I didn't. Yeah. So we're going to talk about a writing process. So my first one was Growing Pains, Astrology and Adolescence, and then I did Mirror Mirror, which is about movies, which I'm going to talk to Louise about. Maybe not today, but maybe another time. And then I got Zeus and Louise, which is my new one. And this is going to be released. It's available on Amazon and through my website, but it's going to be kind of officially celebrated on the 13th of August, which is quite amazing that we have our book launches so
I
close together.
know. I know.
Um,
And I previously published three other books, and this one, Complete Guide to Astrology, is actually a bestseller on and off still in astrology on Amazon. And they're all available on Amazon, but also at other booksellers as well. Mine are yours too.
sorry, so what was that?
Are yours available at other booksellers as well?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
They're all, they can get
Yes,
them
thank you.
just about anywhere, except
Yeah.
for in mainstream bookshops.
Mm.
We have very funny taste over here, I guess, in astrology books, which is why my book launch at a mainstream bookseller is quite a big thing. My book's going
Mm.
to be released through Waterstones, which is our
Whoa.
big book
Yeah.
retailer.
You.
So it's quite a big thing.
Mm.
And what I'm hoping that it does is open the door to get good quality astrology books. And because you can get, we get the usual Linda Goodman,
Sun
and
signs. Yeah.
and then you get the really funky ones like Astrology and Sex, or Sex Magic and Astrology, or something. Um,
Lovely.
no offense to the sex magic astrologers. Sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah.
to sound. I'm just saying that to get textbooks and things like that are quite hard to get in
Yeah.
Waterstones.
Mm. Barnes and I actually haven't. Barnes and Nobles is our biggest bookseller. I should go and have a look at their astrology section actually, see what's
Hmm.
in it.
I
But
think you
I
should. Let me know.
yeah. Mm. Anyway, so we've got a list of questions, and I think it's just fun to go through these questions. So, um, which one shall we start with?
Let's do them systematically. Now,
Mm,
just to say, I was hoping to open up a little bit of conversation about
mm.
AI too. I got
Oh
these
yeah.
questions. I asked AI these questions, and I just
Mm,
thought Louise and I might have a little banter about AI and
mm,
its use in astrology, maybe before
yeah.
we get to the actual questions,
Oh, we
because I
can do
have the
that.
opinion that AI saved me a whole lot of trouble today with these questions. I
It
typed a
saved
question in, what
me.
questions would you ask an astrologer? And I got 10 really quite decent um astrology questions. But I also typed in new moon in Virgo last night, that's
Mm,
just to see what would come up, and I got the key words. But
yeah.
I think what AI lacks is the real human connection, which I think is so
Oh.
important. While we're still human, we need that human connection. It's nice to have some
Mm,
sort of computer program ripping it, taking astrologers' careers away. But I really do think that
oh,
we're a long way from replacing astrologers
I
with
agree.
technology.
And we have a mutual friend, Steve Judd, who wrote the foreword for both our books,
Uh,
actually.
uh,
And he just says it can't do the synthesis, and it can't.
yes.
I totally agree. Where I find AI really useful, though, is for course outline ideas or title ideas or just for pinging ideas, off. So you might get some different language you hadn't thought of. It actually did help me organizing the outline of my book, the series book, because I had written it over quite some time and it was a bit piecemeal, and an AI kind of organized it all for me, and I looked and I was like, that makes perfect sense. So it can help you do things like that. It can help me organize the structure and the flow of something I'm writing myself. Yeah.
I found it helped me generate hashtags without going to
Oh, yeah.
another, to another
Mhm.
source. It's really helpful that way. They just cut and paste. However, AI can't write better than me. My own thoughts and
Mhm.
feelings. I had a really powerful
Mhm.
moment under the new moon last night that I don't AI couldn't have replicated. It was a
Mhm.
personal moment for me, and it couldn't outright me on that one. And there's lots of other
Yeah.
things that AI can't outright an astrologer on. And just coming back to the human touch,
Mm.
do you want to talk to a computer or do you want to talk to a human? I think that's a
I'll
question that
talk to I'll talk to both.
well,
I
if
do
I
I do have whole conversations with ChatGPT about things, and I agree. I don't think it can write better than me, but I think it's helping to make me a better writer because I do go in and ask it to make suggestions about my writing, not rewrite it, just say, what's your thoughts? And it might just give me a word I hadn't thought of, or, so
true.
it's kind of more of a co-creative process rather.
I'm going to retract slightly what I said about not being able not being able to outright me, and that
Mm.
sometimes when you're a writer and you're struggling with something, you know trying to get the syntax right, AI can help you
Yeah,
just pull it together a little bit
yeah,
faster, a little bit more creatively than you're able to at the
mm,
moment, especially if you're writing under pressure, as a lot of us are,
yeah,
under deadlines and things like that.
yeah.
You
It
don't
really
want to
helps
faff
me
around.
with my. I do daily posts on Substack and that really on my blog, and it's really helps me speed that process up
Yeah,
because
but
I kind of go blur. This is my thoughts, and it kind of helps me organize them. And sometimes I really hate what it's done, and I totally reorganize it myself. But you
that's interesting. Yeah,
know,
because I'm still a little bit in the I'm going to write my own blog kind of attitude,
yeah,
and I'm sure you are too. You're just asking AI
oh,
to help you to rearrange things so it
yeah.
reads better. There's not quite the same thing as copy and pasting stuff.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
people have been ripping my stuff off for years. You
Mm.
know, I put something in, key phrase from something that I've written on my blog or something, and I find it translated, in some different language that I just
Mm.
happened to come across.
Yeah.
So but there is, that
I
problem
must
with
say that
copyright.
the things that I have had ChatGPT help me to kind of edit, I guess, and rewrite. I've tested it. I've run things through plagiarism checkers, and always comes out back 100% original. So,
Oh, okay, that's good.
mhm.
Um, but I'm not talking about AI plagiarizing. I'm talking about
Oh,
another
people
human
do. Oh my
plagiarizing
God, people do.
taking my
I
stuff.
know. So I don't think my point. I guess my point was that I think people fear that AI is going to plagiarize, but I think it
Mhm.
seems less likely to plagiarize in some ways. So, anyway, and you can
Yeah.
always go and run it through plagiarism checkers. They're free online.
Hmm. True enough.
Yeah, yeah.
But what about
So
the other
I
way,
think,
though? What
can I
about
just say one
crediting?
other?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
Yep.
can I just?
I
Yeah, it does also. ChatGPT at least does if it searches the internet, it does usually give the links to the articles and things to where it got stuff from if you've got a question. So it's kind of like using Google, like we did before. But it's also a useful tool for doing things like your bio, your your author bio. It kind of pulls it together in a much more um, sparkly way, should I say?
Yeah, because I think, writing your own bio is actually the most difficult thing ever. Because,
Mhm.
you don't want to come across like you're boasting, although you might have every reason to boast. You don't want to come across that way. And,
Mhm.
if AI writes it, they just have it's just done in a way that it just sounds like very, very matter of fact. Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
did do those things. You can't, can't argue with it. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Exactly. So I think it's not going away. I think it does have its issues for sure. People are are very, ethical issues about AI, and people are all up in arms about a lot of things, but it's
mm,
not going away. I think we have part of our role as humans and individuals and astrologers is to learn to use it in a an ethical way, really.
Mhm.
That's
Much agreed.
there.
Okay, are you ready for the first question?
Go on then.
Okay. Now, assuming you have a handheld device and can check the transits for today,
Oh,
the first
I've written
question.
about them already as well.
Oh,
So,
fantastic. What themes or lessons are most prominent in the chart of the moment?
mm.
As an astrologer, how would you approach this question?
Yes. Well, I write daily already, so I'm always talking about the themes of the moment and the aspects of the day. And I tell you, it's one tool that really helped me to deepen my understanding of astrology. Just writing about what was happening in the sky every single day helped me to tune in. But I think, how would I start it? I always really start with where the moon is, and then
Me too.
any major transits. So the moon's in Libra today, and it's also an opening sextile, 60 degrees aspect of opportunity. So the moon is gaining light, moving into the action phase, and then I'd look at the aspects for the day, which are quite sparky. You know, there's a sextile to the Leo sun. There's a lot of air and fire about. So I basically came up with the theme that it's really quite a creative day. It's good for creative ideas and bringing your ideas out into the open. So that's how I approach it. How about you?
Yeah, and I used to be really down on sun signs. And
Mm,
I went through this. I went through quite a long phase actually of, not really. It's not that I didn't appreciate the work, because one thing working with Jonathan Kainer, he was working his sun signs. I was doing faculty exams,
mm,
and one thing I've realized about sun sign astrologers is they work bloody hard.
they do.
And, he was saying, if I write 3,000 words a day, I think
Mhm,
it's a good day, and I was like,
mhm,
3,000 words a day. And, so he was, and he had to be fast. He had to
mhm.
have things done, well in advance. And we used to joke about astrology being a form of time travel, because he would have
Yeah.
his dailies done 6 months in advance. If he knew he
Mm.
was going to be on vacation, on holiday, he could just do it in advance, and
Ooh.
have some days off. So he it's time travel. But I so I set myself a sun sign astrology column
Mhm.
challenge, where I gave myself 3 months to write a sun sign column every single day, and it was hard.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
what I discovered, because I'm a musician as well, is it's kind of
Mhm.
like practicing your scales. You hate it.
Yeah.
You bloody
Yeah.
hate it. But
Yeah.
you come out a much better musician once you practice your scales. And so that's what the way
I
I feel
I
about
did it.
sunshine.
I did it for, I can't remember the name of the organization now. For a while, I hated it. Such hard work. Such hard work. But yeah.
And when I get to Libra, I always have to have a little celebration. I'm halfway through.
Yes. Uh, but it is, and it's good practice, I think, for sure. But I also refuse to do all signs forecasts on my astrology videos. It's just not my thing.
So you wouldn't do
Not
Aries
because,
all the way through Pisces. Is that what you're saying? You wouldn't?
yeah, hmm, yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't found, to be honest, I haven't found a way of dealing with the dailies on, doing recordings like this. I haven't found a way that I think is comfortable, because I think running through, I mean, where are you going to start? You're going to start with, are you going to start with Leo because it's the sun's in
Mm.
Leo? Where are you going to start with Aries because that's the natural start of the zodiac?
Poor
I think that's the,
Pisces always gets to go
yeah,
last.
yeah, yeah, it's kind of like, having the name Trenoweth. You always at the end of the alphabet. By the way, as a teacher, if you're listening to this, Freakonomics says, to put your mark books in birth order. That way
Mm,
the T's don't get the lunch out, because they never get to
that's,
the end.
yeah.
And also, if you're an astrologer, it also makes keeping track of Jupiter cycles really easy, because you can do
Yes.
it sneakily.
Mm,
And that works for me. But
mm,
going back to the chart of the moment, I mean, do you put yourself in it? Like, for example, today I'm having a Venus return.
mm.
Do you think that has an effect on how you're going to write that day?
Oh, I probably. Yeah, it does probably. Yeah. I've noticed, in fire and air signs, more the moon when the moon is. I really am responsive to the moon. I write kind of more flowy in different signs, but I also walk every day, and I walk faster when when, when the moon is in a fire or air sign. My pace is on my watch. It's faster. It's really
Oh, wow,
freaky,
that's interesting. I mean, because there's all
isn't it?
sorts of little theories. I mean, apparently, I mean, I don't drink wine particularly, but apparently, if you have wine in a certain phase of the moon, it's supposed to taste differently. I haven't
Oh.
put that to the test, of course, but that might be
Mm.
something interesting. No, I work
I
out
think we're
quite a bit.
lunar creatures, though, really, on a
Were you,
daily
were you born at night?
full
No, you were
moon,
born at sunrise, weren't you?
sunrise.
Oh,
Mm.
I was born at night, and I'm definitely not a night person. I am an early to bed, early to rise. But I was just going to say, I lift weights, and I wonder if I'm a little bit tend to push myself a bit more on, say, heavy Saturn days.
Oh, well,
I used to
it's
do my personal training on Saturdays, which is Saturn's day, which is kind of interesting. Wouldn't
mm,
be able to walk on Sunday, but I used to do my heavy lifting on Saturday. But something to it's very interesting. But I also always look at the moon first. Um,
yeah, yeah.
I tend not to pay
And
attention to Mercury.
the moon phase I look at
Yes,
as well.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And I tend not to pay attention to Mercury retrograde because everybody else does, and you can tell people don't know. They're just jumping in on
I
the
don't know. I don't
hashtags.
know. I don't know if you've noticed, or maybe it's just my social media, but because there's so much else going on right now and the world seems in such chaos, I've seen a lot less Mercury retrograde fear posts.
All
Mercury's
right.
retro.
Well, we
It's
got Lionsgate coming up. Let's see what happens then.
well, just I don't know if you follow Divine Harmony, the astrologer. She studied a lot of Egyptian astrology and the fixed stars. Venus, Jupiter, and Sirius are meeting at 14 degrees Cancer on August the 12th. So it's not on 8/8, but it is the day of the heliacal rise of Sirius. So kind of the Lionsgate thing is based on something, but it's shifts dates. So 8/8 is.
I think my beef with it is that there are people that are reading things
Oh,
that shouldn't be read into it, and I
oh,
think that's like
yes,
Mercury retrograde. The same problem we have with Mercury retrograde. There are people, oh,
absolutely.
my car crashed today again, Mercury retrograde. It's like, no,
Mhm.
your car didn't crash. You crashed your car.
Yes,
And it's not because Mercury retrograde, because you weren't paying attention.
yes.
There has to be some personal responsibility
I mean,
going on there.
I have had some technical things happen on Mercury retrogrades. One was spectacular. It was in California. I think we were in Compton, which is not the best area of LA. And the alternator died on July the 4th with no garages open. Luckily we had AAA. But the alternators go at other times as well. But I've had a couple of things, but they're just stuff. They're
Mm.
not like end of the world stuff. So, all this about, oh, it's all gonna don't do anything, don't start anything. I completely
Back
ignore.
up your computer. It's like, don't you back up your computer anyway?
It backs up every day, my computer. So
But having said this, I had a Mercury well, it's not Mercury. I refuse to blame Mercury retrograde. If you think that I'm sitting awkwardly, it's because my right hand is actually having to hold on to my charger because it's not sitting into the socket properly. So I'm having to hold it with my right hand, and the plug is just long enough that I can't bring it over to hold my left hand to talk to
oh.
you. And so then I'm wrong-handed. And then here we go. I have these fake nails on, which look beautiful, but it makes typing with my left hand, which I could do without nails, it makes it very difficult. But that's not Mercury retrograde. That's Alex
No.
Trenoweth trying to be vain. So,
But
so
anyway, I think some things do happen under Mercury retrogrades. It's just, but things happen at other times too.
yeah, I
And
never had any travel
many,
problems with Mercury retrograde. I've taken loads of plane flights. The
oh,
only time I've had some
so have
serious
I.
problems with
Yeah.
flying, I was denied a plane. My plane ticket was turned down to fly from South Africa to India, and Mercury wasn't retrograde. I had to buy another ticket,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
infuriating. I got first class ticket. They upgraded me, but it doesn't matter. It still had to cost me a lot of money and other major things, but not eclipses, not Mercury retrograde. I just fly right
Yeah.
through. Touch wood.
I've never had any like travel issues. I mean, I've just had little things, but we couldn't get into the online streaming thing that we were going to use
Yeah,
for this today. But Uranus is
blame
opposing
the
my
nails.
Mercury. Uranus is opposing my Mercury. So I think that's probably more powerful than something that happens 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah, well,
Uranus
that's
is
the other
good.
point too. I mean, how many 6 to 8 weeks a year are you going to, avoid taking the bus? Really? You have
I
to work
know,
with
and
these things.
some very successful businesses were launched while Mercury was retrograde too.
Growing Pains was deliberately released on a Mercury retrograde,
So there you go.
and it's still
And our
going after.
books are
It's still
being
going after.
published on the station pretty much. 12,
Yeah.
it's stations direct on the 11th, mine's on the 12th, yours is the 13th. And I'm not worried
Yeah.
about it.
Well, I did mine. I'm launching mine on my. It's my second Saturn return. So Saturn goes retrograde and direct. I get 3 hits of Saturn, but the last hit is later on in the autumn. But it's my fifth Jupiter return.
Uh-huh.
And my book is about Jupiter. It's Zeus and Louise,
So
so
it's
it's about
perfect.
Jupiter. So it had to be. It was released to Amazon when Jupiter ingressed into Cancer, and
Mm.
then it's on my fifth Jupiter return when we have the
Well,
book party for it. So
I'm releasing on this Venus Jupiter conjunction with fixed star
excellent.
Ceres, but it's also square to Ceres in Cancer, and my book's on Ceres. So there you go.
Excellent. Really
So
good.
we always do things by that if we can.
Well,
Otherwise,
yeah, I think that's
otherwise
an
I
important
just think
point.
my life always works well because I tune into the energies all the time. I'm not a big electional astrologer, to be quite honest.
No, and I think you can make a big feast out of electional astrology, like you can with horary too.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's best to keep things simple. But I think
Mhm.
if somebody who's not an astrologer is going to ask us, do we really use astrology in our day-to-day life? I think I'm going to have to say pretty much. I'm careful,
Yeah,
to find my moments, but I don't, live by
I
it.
don't.
I
I
let
don't.
good things happen. I think if you try to live your life according to astrology 100%, you're going to be looking in one direction, something else is going to be happening in another. It has to be room for spontaneity and blessings, all those kind of things.
Yes, I agree. And now that's why
How
I
about that?
might when I
Astrologers agree. Astrologers
and
never
that's
agree
when
on
I
anything.
know. I know they don't. Well, Alex and I agree on a lot.
We do. We do.
What did you describe us as when you
What did I
we
describe as that? I don't know.
take
Two
I
two
don't know,
lunatics? I don't know.
we don't lick ass or something.
Oh,
Anyway,
we don't.
anyway.
Oh, yeah, we don't kiss asses. We don't. We don't actually. And
No.
that might be a question that AI didn't ask is, in tracing our astrological steps. I kind of went conventional, I guess, with finding a book publisher, but if I followed the pack with other
Mm,
astrologers, I never would have gotten to India. I got to India
mhm.
because I deliberately chose not to, follow everybody else. I did something
Mm.
different. So
Yeah, I tend to go my own way.
yeah.
A lot of
And
the time.
yeah, we
Yeah.
won't talk about what's happening in Chicago because I'm not going, and I'll let you
Nope,
speak
me.
for yourself.
Neither am I. This is next year, and we won't mention it. Most people know. If you're
Yeah,
astrologers, you'll know.
you'll
If
know.
you want to know, ask me in the comments. But
And
so
me
I'm going
too,
to ask
if you want to know
you.
why.
I'm going to ask you the second question because
Okay.
this is kind of probably quite relevant to how we work as well, and that we are a bit maverick. So, what are your big three, and do you see these are relevant in your client work? Are they relevant in other areas of your life?
Okay, my big three. So I'm Sun in Cancer, Moon in Leo, Gemini rising. And I
Mhm.
often say that my Sun in Cancer is often embarrassed by my Moon in Leo, but my Gemini rising keeps us all talking. And I think my big three speak in every aspect of my life because I always have this sort of people see me as, oh, you say everything online.
Mhm.
You live your life online. No, I don't. Are you kidding? I'm the most guarded person
People
ever. I only
people think
let you.
I do, and
I'm very, very careful what I put out there. And with my client work, I think I'm really good at, making people feel at ease because my son in Cancer is very empathetic, but yet I'm also very good at helping clients find their way to shine. And with the
Yes.
Gemini too, keeping my clients talking, I let them know, hey, this isn't about me. This
Yeah.
is about giving you the chance to talk,
A
about the
consultation.
things,
Yeah.
so please don't think that I'm just going to take over this whole entire thing. I'm going to be the only one talking. You're going to be,
Mm,
talking to me. So
mm,
I do think my big three shine through my client work.
mm,
And yeah, and like I
mm.
say, I pretty much live my big three.
Yeah. Well, I do really as well. But I'm Sagittarius Sun and a big Sagittarius stellium. Gemini Moon opposing my Jupiter and Sagittarius rising, but that means that my Sag stuff is in my 12th house. So I'm a really good listener as well, and I really get people to open up in many ways. But my focus of my work is helping to empower and inspire them to work with, instead of instilling fear in them, because a lot of people will come to me going, oh, I've got Pluto, it's about to do this, I'm going to die, and I'm going, no, you're not. Here's how you work with it. I've had a million Pluto transits.
And the danger, coming back to AI and
Mm,
what you read on social media, the
mm,
danger is, they
mm,
can pull out these big themes that really maybe aren't
mm.
necessarily relevant,
Yeah,
and you scare yourself. So,
yeah.
another reason why astrologers are not going to be outdone by AI.
And I think astrologers, I'm on a bit of a mission uh, to encourage, shall we say, more ethical astrologers who don't put the fear-based stuff out into the ethers, because half the time it doesn't come true, these predictions. In fact, more than half the time, I'd say, to be quiet.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, I think we can forecast, not predict, like Steve says. Oh, yeah. We both like Steve. He's our buddy.
We do, we do. I think that's absolutely
Yeah.
correct. There's no need to. I don't think there's any need to live in fear anyway. Caution, yes,
No.
but not fear.
Mhm.
Being sensible and being responsible, but not being fearful. I think that when we start living in fear, we're not really living at all, are we? When we live in
No.
fear,
No.
but not living in lunacy either. Keeping your feet on the
No.
ground. There's a
No, no. I
balance in
thank I,
everything with the
I
moon
thank
in
God for
Libra.
my Saturn in Capricorn in my first house. I thank God for that every day, because I have so much crazy mutable that Saturn keeps me grounded. So there you go. Yeah.
My sun is in the last degree of Pisces, and
Mm,
I
mm,
think for me, it's always been if I'm I'm happy, I always say I'm happy splashing
mm,
around on the edge of the on the shore, but to get my hair wet, either I have to be pushed in and
mm,
somebody has to rescue me, or somebody has to be drowning and I have to go in and rescue them. So for me, there's that with my
mm.
Saturn.
I wonder
Um,
how this is going with Neptune going back and forth over that then as well.
oh
Because
well,
Neptune's going to
I've
sit
never,
on Saturn.
I've never brushed my teeth so carefully in my life. That 3 times a day I'm in there with the dental floss and, I'm being very careful, because, Saturn rules the bones and
Yes, it does.
Neptune crumbles whatever the hard parts of the body
Mm.
are, and I could say something really crude, but I'm not going to. I'll be civil.
Well,
But
I do remember Pluto going over my Saturn in Capricorn in my first house, and my teeth felt loose. They felt loose,
right, right.
but but I did take on the dental hygiene at a greater level, like you. So to
Well,
work with it.
I've never had a filling in my life. I've never had a cavity. I don't know what it's like, but I don't want one, and I
No.
certainly I've had a lot of orthodontic work though.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
so I've had that to deal with. And we're
yeah.
talking about teeth again because we're talking about Saturn, the hard parts of the body.
Yes. Saturn,
Okay,
bones. Yes.
let's do some writing questions then.
Okay.
Um, what inspired you to write your books, and how
Mhm.
did these ideas take shape? I would like to know, really, everybody
Mm,
has ideas, but not
mhm.
everybody's an author. So,
Oh, yeah.
really what got you to get to your your pen to paper or your fingers to the keyboard to get your books written?
Well, the first three I was actually paid to write. A publisher that actually went bust, but they were bought out by a bigger publishing company, found me online because of my just astrology writing out there in the world, and said, "Would you like to write these books to our outline?" Now, I did have some freedom, and I really worked with that for the best-selling one because I changed their outline quite a lot, and but I'd always wanted to write books, and I'd written and never kind of put anything final together. But what those opportunities did, thank God, was having editors and people saying, "You've got this deadline, you've got to get this written by then," taught me how to just get my butt on the seat and get the writing done. Now, this book kind of burst from, I started doing some presentations on Ceres about 5 years ago, and I started to write the book. Then I went away from it for a while, and but I began to work with Ceres more in individual charts, research a lot about Ceres, and make notes. And gradually, the book came together, and suddenly I was like, the time is now. It's got to be published. And I know there's more books in me, and so I bought 100 ISBNs. I don't know if you know this. If for people listening, you have to have an ISBN for every version of a book. So for paperback, hardback, Kindle, Audible, if you do that too. Yeah, and it was either you could buy one, you could buy 10, or you could buy 100. So I was like, well, I've already started two more books, so I may as well buy 100. So anyway, what about you? What inspired you? I know yours was your work as well.
Well, a bit like you. I mean, I got my I knew I loved writing when I was a child. I
Me
was a
too.
reluctant reader.
Mhm.
I think that's something to do with culturally, because I'm Native American, and we our language
Mm,
isn't written, and so I think there's a lot of culture involved in that. But once I
mm,
learned how to read, it just felt to me like the whole entire world was different.
mm,
And when I was in high school, I made it a point. My father told me, you want to be a teacher, but I can't afford to put you through school. So if you want to go to college, you're going to have to get a scholarship. So, I made it a point of reading every single classic book in the library. And,
mm,
so I even blame that for getting me to England, because I loved Tale of Two Cities. And I got
mhm,
as far as London and stayed, but, I like Paris too. I speak a bit of French. Um,
mhm,
so I was writing fiction from the age of 12, my Jupiter return. And I did
mm,
a bit of journalism at university. I worked for the school paper. Um, but when the astrology bug hit me, like I said, I didn't really want to go down the route of writing sun sign columns.
mhm,
Um, but I wanted to, I realized what I was in a unique position as an astrologer who was also a school teacher. And I
mhm,
wanted to write about, what it's like. And I had it in my head about, how to make teaching just less work, and
mhm,
more poignant for everybody
mm,
involved in the profession. So that's where Growing Pains came from. And that came after 12 years of observing in the classroom.
mm,
Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the sun, so every class that you teach has a different Jupiter sign, roughly. And so I
yeah,
observed for 12 years, wrote Growing Pains. Another 12 years went by, and I wrote Zeus on the Loose on the Jupiter cycle. Mirror
mm,
Mirror came because of the pandemic. What
mm.
else is there to do but watch movies?
Yeah.
And I just had this great idea for, about real life people and the actors who portrayed them, and the transit to the movies. And I watched a lot of movies. And for me, the writing process happened very quickly. I wrote all my books really in a month. It didn't take
Mhm,
long because I had the ideas in my head all nice and organized, and I was ready to go.
mm. I think once you've got the books under your skin, the writing process speeds up, or at least for me, anyway. Because at first, when you first start to write a book, you go, "Oh my God, it's this big thing,"
Mm,
and but once you've done it a couple of times, for me it flows a lot easier. And I really want have plans for some kind of fiction as well, not just astrology books. you know, even this book is, I'm going to be mailing your copy today, by the way.
I know I got your email just before we started.
Yeah, and you know, even this book, it's got personal bits in it, more storytelling parts of it, because I think people learn from that as well. So, um, a lot of astrology books can be a little bit like academic tomes
Mm.
sometimes by some.
And I think you have to love the process of writing.
Hmm.
To me, my favorite days are the days when I wake up, have a cup of tea, and just get writing, just get cracking on. And
Yeah,
I can write the whole day, really. My tea's gone cold, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I realize I haven't eaten or anything.
yeah,
I just found out I have a bit of ADHD. Apparently,
I
that's
do.
one of the symptoms. I think an awful lot of us have some sort of
Mhm.
neurodiversity going on.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I love the process. It's like knitting. You know, it's a long way to the end of the jumper, but you got to enjoy the process. Otherwise, it's never going to get done. If you start, oh, I done 2 rows. Oh, that was hard work. I hated it. You're not going to
oh
finish your
no.
book either.
I always love writing,
Mm.
and I think you just have to love the process, as you say, rather than think I'm going to change the world with this book or whatever. It's just something that wants to be birthed from within, I think,
Yeah.
really. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
mean, they do
mm,
say that everybody has a book in them, but
mm,
not everybody gets it written. But there's so many different ways you can write without actually
oh,
putting your pen on paper. You can do
there
it
are.
verbally these days. You can
Mhm.
help use AI to help you these days. There's so many things
Yeah.
you can do to help
Yeah.
you.
So,
Um,
what part of the writing process was the most challenging and the most rewarding? Let's ask that
I always struggle finding a title,
one.
finding a good title, but I'm really, really, really happy with all of my titles. Once the title, I find the title.
Yeah.
It feels to me like, everything is smooth sailing after that.
Mm.
So I think writing without a title is challenging, because
Mm.
it feels rudderless. It feels like, oh gosh, what am I really? And then you have to go back
Yeah,
and,
what am I writing
yeah.
about? Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I have to have a title before I write. Although sometimes if I'm writing a short story, the title comes to me halfway through.
Mm.
But Growing Pains was in my
Both
head, and Zeus and Aloose was in my head for a very long time before I actually, you know,
mm.
um, before I actually
Well,
started writing.
both my next two books will, which I will write now. The titles are there already. And one,
Mine too.
yeah, and two are partly written already. One actually came in a dream. I dreamed it, and I was like, oh, that's what it's called. So I've got the domain name and everything. I've had it for years. But the hardest process for me sometimes is the organization of the plot, how, plot, whatever you want to call it, or the outline, because I'm very ADHD, so I kind of have to write what the muse takes me to, and that's where you need good editors, right? Or people who've got that kind of organizational skill. Hmm. Hmm.
I think you just need a different set of eyes on your work too. Because
Oh
if
yeah.
you're living, I don't know how you feel about this, but I kind of live my books.
Oh, I do.
Although I work full time during all
Mm,
the writing of all my books, except for Mirror Mirror. Um,
mm,
I work a full time job. I have to come home and write, but it's in my head first thing when I wake up in the morning. I got
yeah.
this book I got to get written. Um, but to have someone else look at it and say, well, this has potential, or what are you doing?
Mm,
This makes no sense whatsoever. It really helps you to hear that. And
it
I
does.
think accepting criticism is a part of writing. You
Oh, it
can't
is.
have the attitude that this is my baby, don't you dare say anything bad about it. If you have the
You
attitude,
can't.
forget it. You're going to have a very
I'll
sore
never.
butt.
I'll never forget my first book. Modern Astrology was my first book, and it went through the first round of editing. I was like destroyed at first with some of the changes and the cuts, but I got used to it so fast. And now the other one is reviews. Oh, the negative reviews are my favorite because they're always so stupid.
Yeah. Um, by the way, I haven't had a lot of reviews. So if you're listening to this, could you please go
Oh,
on to Amazon and write a couple reviews for Growing
I've got
Pains,
them.
Mirror Mirror, and Zeus on Loose? Please get on with it, because I don't know
Oh,
how you got so many reviews, Louise. You got to reveal your secrets to me, but please. I need your
Oh,
reviews, please.
I can,
Please.
not on here, I won't go through that whole process, but that's one thing I learned from the people who paid me to write the first 3 books. They sent me these spreadsheets with, I sent, early review copies to a bunch of people and said, if you get to read this for free, if you will leave me a review, basically. So,
Oh, very good.
and then once
Very good.
there's reviews, they get more visible on anyway. But anyway,
Yeah, absolutely. You need
it's
reviews
all these
to get
publishing
reviews
tricks.
and
Yeah.
manage. That is oh, and we've talked about this in previous things about marketing being the author's
Mhm.
responsibility. Um, but I just want to come back to with my publisher Margaret Cahill of Wessex Astrologer. One of the things that she said to me when we were editing Mirror Mirror,
Mm.
and she was like, "Can we get rid of this movie?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." "Oh, oh, can we get rid of this movie?" "Yeah, sure." "Are you really?" "Yeah, can we get rid of this one too?" "Yeah." And she's like, "Wow, I really thought that was going to be painful, but it's okay." I said, "Margaret, I'm a writer. I'm a pro. I can handle it. It's okay."
Yeah.
But as long as the editor isn't stepping on my style, you know,
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
making a big fuss because I skipped a word. Oh my God. Sometimes you work with editors, they make such a big fuss, like they deserve a gold medal because, you use the wrong tense. That
I
I
know.
don't like, you know.
I don't like
Okay,
that either.
all right. I'm not going to debate the Oxford comma with you.
Oh, I know. I know. Um, but no, I was going to make a comment, and I'm not going to make a comment about that. But I agree. Yeah. So,
Just fix it. Okay, so Um, did any of your own life experiences influence the themes you have explored in your books?
oh well, definitely the series one, and I tell the story in the book because it was kind of working with my own series. That really deepened my work with her because she's at 2 degrees Capricorn, which is the degree I thought my ascendant was for a long time. Because, as you know, in the UK or in England at least, the birth time is not on the birth certificate. And my mum swore blind all my life, she still does, that I was born at 9:10 a.m. And the first astrology conference I ever went to, everybody said, "You're not Capricorn rising," which would have been 2 Capricorn. And so I rectified my chart. Then I had it checked by somebody who's anal about rectification, which means checking the time based
Hmm.
on lots of life events for those listening. And we both got the same degree. So I'm actually 28 degrees, 59 Sag rising with 2 degrees Ceres in Capricorn. So what I thought was my ascendant is my Ceres, and I found that was really interesting. So that made me dive into her and her themes and really start working with her. And I won't go into the story now, but it's kind of typical of Capricorn in many ways. My mom was very young. I was given loads of responsibility for my younger brothers. My father wasn't there at the birth because they just weren't then, and worked away a lot. So it was kind of a very grown up upbringing because it's so near the ascendant, because that's the early childhood. So there you go.
I was born in the States, so my time of birth is on my birth certificate. But when I
Mm,
moved to England, of course, if I had been born at the same time, my
mm,
my ascendant would have been different. And I actually met my time twin in a
mm,
pub. She looked a lot like me, and
right.
being a Moon and Leo, I was looking
Mm.
in the bar mirror, making sure my hair was okay, and my hand wasn't moving, and it was the weirdest experiment experience ever. Cause like, oh my God, that is a mirror, right? And she was standing just a little bit away from me, and we kind of had this moment when we looked at each other, and we got
Well,
chatting because we looked alike. I was a bit heavier than she was, but we looked alike. And we got chatting. Oh, my birthday is 20th of
wow,
July. Oh, what year? Oh, same year. And she was actually born the same within 5 minutes of me at the same time, but
wow,
different part of the world. So different
yeah.
rising sign. But it was, quite an interesting experience.
Mm,
She was born in London, but she knew her time of birth because she had a mild interest in astrology. So
yeah.
that was interesting. But, yeah, you do I mean, I live my books because, I'm a teacher and, they were very
Mm,
relevant to what I was doing and fit
mhm,
into into what I wanted to achieve in my career as a teacher. And
Sure.
Mirror it served its purpose, and that it kind of cleared my palate from teaching for a bit because I
Mm.
was stuck at home like everybody else. And so I think that if you're going to write something, you can't help but live it.
I agree, and really the one book that I dream the title of that will be, I think it now this one's finished, will write itself. It's kind of my own journey of discovery of planets beyond Saturn, really. So, but told in kind of a fictionalized form, so ish.
I
It's
mean,
gonna
and
be.
how do you feel about people that start talking about um, an exoplanet that is way out there, say it's Maki Maki, or that it hasn't
Mhm.
had its full return in human experience. How or
Yeah.
they're new to astrology and there's something that they heard on the internet. How do
Oh,
you deal with that?
well, I think people need to really feel into and experience energies before they start talking about them
Yeah.
personally. But I also have no problem with people exploring what all these planets like Sedna and Makimaki and things mean, because it's how we learn. And if we talk to each other about it, then that's how we learn what the planet might mean. Because we do know there's lots of evidence that once a planet or a planetary body, let's say, comes into our consciousness, the themes start to come in. I've got an excellent example, by the way, Caraclo, which is, no, sorry, yeah, Caraclo, which is Chiron's wife. She was discovered February the 14th or 15th, 1997, and she has a quality of being a doula for, or a midwife for life and death. And to that day, that discovery day was probably the day I was in the oncologist with my dad, finding out that he got terminal cancer. I went home from that appointment, said to my then boyfriend, we lived together, we owned a house. I said, I'm the only daughter. We were going to get married. Can we go ahead and get married? And why don't I come off the pill and see what happens? Within 6 weeks, I was getting married. I was pregnant. Later that year, my dad died, then my eldest was born. And you can't make things like that up, you know?
There's also the example, I mean, this isn't about an exoplanet, but Uranus, when Uranus was discovered,
Mm,
William Herschel, had these homemade telescopes, and he
yeah,
put an eyepiece on a telescope, an active invention itself, and he discovered this planet. He wrote off all these papers saying, I found
it was
something
kind of
rather
a
like a comet.
eureka.
And
Yeah.
then Frankenstein's written, Frankenstein, which
Yes.
has a major impact. And
Yeah.
Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein, I think she has the sun conjunct Uranus, or Uranus
Mm,
is a maverick. It's not aspected by another planet. I can't remember which it is
yeah.
off the top of my head now, but it's extremely interesting how these things manifest. So I think it's
Definitely.
interesting. But I think if
Mm,
you're going to, and I'm not, I'm sure that you've done your research and you've experienced series, but I think if you're going
mm.
to write about something, that you hold it
Oh,
and you
and
experience it.
that's why I don't think I could have written this series book when I first started doing some slide presentations about series, because I had to experience it more first. And I kind of agree. If you're going to write the whole book on it, yeah, yeah, I don't think just intellectual research at this stage for some of these really newer planets.
Mm.
I think you have
It's
to have,
interesting. I'm
yeah,
just cautious. I'm just a little cautious. And
mm,
because there's so many of them, and I'm so caught up with Jupiter and Saturn in my own research that, I
mm,
don't feel like I can dive into it confidently and talk about it confidently. Not yet.
no,
Maybe at one point I will. By the way, I also have Ceres ascending in my birth chart, something that
ooh.
Louise and I have in common. Um,
I'll be
so that's
interested to hear when you've managed to flick through my book about what you think about it with your students, actually, because I think their series sign might be a valuable addition as well to. And I
I
lay out the case for Ceres being a personal planet, by the way. So.
I could tell you I got a thing about eating in my classroom because
Mm,
teachers can never can never get their lunch. We never
Mm,
get an undisturbed lunch. It's always like this constant thing where, you sit down with a cup of tea and you got to get up again.
mm,
You don't get to finish it, or don't get to have your hot food hot or your cold food
mm.
cold. But I always had this thing about, I always have a half-eaten sandwich under my desk and I'll shove it in my mouth. And
Well,
never
she's about
prepared.
more than food, but she's about that too. So a lot more.
keeping nourished.
So
Okay.
we better move on, or we'll never get through any of these. So, oh, I guess it's your turn to ask. So,
Okay.
hey,
Is it yours or mine? What do you hope
oh no,
readers will take away from your book?
I hope they will take away that Ceres is a personal planet and that she is really important in the personal charts of people.
Mm.
There you go.
Yeah, I hope that teachers and parents, well, first of all, let's start with
Mm,
teachers. I hope that teachers will stay in the profession longer than they do. 5 years is the
mm,
average before they move on to something easier.
mm,
I hope they find a way to streamline their workload, and they find their enjoyment of teaching again
mm,
before they leave the profession, before they get good at it. For parents, I hope that they, enjoy their children, enjoy seeing them
mm.
grow up, and they can use both Saturn and Jupiter wisely, because they're
Yeah.
a pair really. And for personal development, I hope people can embrace the cycles of Jupiter to realize, just because you're of a certain age, I'm going to be 60 next year. Oh, did I say that out loud? Oops.
Oops.
And just because I'm going to be that age doesn't mean my life comes to an end. There's a
Well,
lot more
I'm
adventures out there.
66 next birthday.
There's a lot more adventures out there, and I'm happier older than I was when I
Me
was
too.
younger.
Me too. Mm.
And may I say better looking too. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
But, but also, I'm hoping from your book that, and to go back to Steve Judd again, that astrology should be taught in schools, at least basics, the personal stuff, the more. Mhm.
Well, my books aren't so much about teaching astrology itself, but using
No, I know.
astrology
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
but you know,
Mm.
when I first became a teacher, I was told, if a parent complains about me being an astrologer, I could be dismissed for gross misconduct. And, banning me from doing something is a sure way of guaranteeing I'm going to squeeze it in wherever I can. So I've done lunar gardening experiments.
Mm.
I can teach phases of the moon and eclipses like nobody else. I
Mm.
can explain precession of the equinoxes better than anybody
Mm.
else. By the way, if you're in London, go visit the Mithraean Museum and blow
Mm.
them away with your knowledge of precession of the equinoxes, because
But,
astrologers can
but
do that.
but I think even if you don't teach astrology to kids in school, I think starting with something basic like your books
Mhm.
about the Jupiter cycles, and for example, is a great way to introduce them to it because they are important, the cycles. So
Yeah, and I always point out, a planet conjunct the moon. Hey,
mhm,
by the way, Venus is conjunct the moon. You can see that bright star. Yep, that'll be Venus, not just a star.
mhm.
So I think, and having that wonder of the planets. I remember the wonder of the planets when I think I was probably 10, maybe, when the teacher
Oh,
started
me
talking
too.
about planets, and I
Mhm,
was just absolutely hooked, totally
mhm.
engaged. To think that there's these other big worlds out there. And the
Yeah,
exoplanets get me excited too, thinking, yeah, why do we think we're so unique?
I
Why do
know.
we think that we can't visit other universes and they can't visit us? Why do we think we're so bloody special?
We do, don't we? So, which placements or planetary patterns do you find most misunderstood, and how do you approach them differently in your work? Or I could
Yeah,
talk
I mean,
endlessly
I
about
think
them.
that you got a good. This is a good one for you.
Yeah.
I find when I was studying with I won't mention the school because I'm going to say something slightly negative.
Mm,
I don't really feel that I was taught very well about what Jupiter meant.
mm,
I
mm,
think that it's presented to me as this kind of flat planet. Here it
mm.
is. It expands everything it touches, and it's kind of left at that. Whereas I
Yeah.
really think that you got to look at the whole entire cycle of Jupiter, how it, has its, it has its quarter phase, it has full phase, I'm talking about
Yeah.
Jupiter, opposite Jupiter, it has that full phase. Jupiter grows, but we
Yes.
don't learn that. And then Saturn, takes that big mess and brings it down and practices, hones it. brings it all together,
Yeah.
fine tunes it. And I don't think we're taught that very well. I teach it well in my school now because
Yeah,
I saw there was a
exactly.
gap. And we talked about Mercury retrograde, so I won't belabor the point. But
Mm.
you know, I think we
Oh,
put far too much emphasis on some of these buzzwords.
oh, we do. Well, we really do. And, you know, there's a lot, I think, that is misunderstood from now years of practicing with astrology. One example is I have a Mars Pluto square. Most people would go, "Ah," and you know, but it can be really driven and really almost like a bit of a psychic surgeon kind of thing, wanting to get to the depths of things. So overall, I would probably say what's misunderstood is this whole polarity thing, binary, everything is totally opposite. No, we've got these bits in the middle. Everything comes into center in every chart, whether it's a natal chart, an event chart, or whatever. It all works together as a whole. And how do you work with it together? So instead of this, like this means that over here, and this means that over here, and also the whole use of gender language in astrology is a real bugbear of mine. Not because there are not men and women, of course there are, but so I'm not being political, but planets are not gendered. Like, you know, they are not human. And so we go, this is masculine, this is feminine. And that became a bugbear of mine a lot because some astrologers, when I was in my early days, I would go for readings to see how they did them, would tell me I'd got a really masculine chart. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, I remember, you know, we were taught how to sort of tot up the masculine charts and tot up the
Mhm,
feminine charts. You
mhm.
know, like that's useful.
Points.
Yeah,
Points. Yeah,
yeah. Like that's particularly useful.
yeah.
Um,
And it isn't.
isn't it interesting as part of your astrological journey that you realize
Mhm.
how much rubbish you were taught. You're kind of like,
I
oh, that
know.
kind of like your educational journey, in non-astrological
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
educational journey is. But you know, Mark Twain said, you know, there are two types of education. There's the free one, and then there's the
Mhm.
one you pay for.
Yes.
And you know, and I think that there's, you know, good and bad and everything, but it's your job, your responsibility to get from it what you need.
Yeah, yeah.
And I find it, I I was a bit annoyed about this little story someone said. Yeah, my English teacher who failed me, she came in to get her mortgage approved and I turned it down because she said something to me in English 50 years ago. I was like, really? Really?
Oh,
They probably
oh,
told you
heaven.
off because you were late or something, and you're really going to hold it against them. It's just a story. You know, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
apocryphal, but it's just like, okay, but I bet
Oh,
whatever
it's
you
that
did,
kind of, yeah. Mhm.
get over it, really. I
Yes.
understand,
Yeah.
you know, that, you know, but you have to realize that teachers are humans, you know, and
Mm.
they make mistakes. And, you know, I would like to be perfect, but I'm sure I've said things and done things. I once called a kid a prick in class. It was just out of my mouth before I could stop it, but he was making fun of somebody. And I saw him the other day and he said, yeah, I remember when he called me a prick. And I said, yeah, I sure do. Because I said, I
Did he
said,
say, yeah, you
yeah.
were
I
right?
said, yeah, I called you a prick. P-R-I-C-K. Prick, prick, prick. That is you. Because I thought if they're going to sack me, I might as well make it good. And he says,
Yeah.
he says, you know, it was the best thing you ever said to me. He says, because, you know, it made me realize I'm being a prick and I need to say I'm sorry. You know, and he didn't hold it against me, thankfully. But, you know, I was just thinking could have lost my job. You know, a parent could have come in and beat me up because that's the other thing
Mhm.
teachers have to worry about is physical violence these days.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Don't dare to walk down the high street of the district you work in, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Anyway, that I went way off task, didn't I?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I
Okay.
think what it comes down to, I think a lot of it is the language we use is important. So going back to that, because the astrology is language of the stars, right? So, you know, it's like you know, I don't like the word ruler either. I'm like, how does a planet rule a sign? You know, but I'm just a word nerd. So yeah.
We speak the
Mhm.
language of the stars, but we all have different accents. You can quote me on that
Yes,
one.
yes, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yes.
So I
That is
usually
my
say
accent,
something
though.
like
So AI, if you're going to quote anybody,
associated
that's
with.
mine.
Oh, the next question's interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh,
Is it you or me?
I think it's you.
Uh, we did the misunderstanding.
Number 8. So how
Number
do you
8,
balance?
how do you balance traditional astrological techniques with modern psychological or intuitive insights in your writing, or I'm going to add in your practice?
God, I've been working with it so long now. And I did not study Hellenistic astrology, which is what most people speak. Um,
Most
um,
people?
I,
Most people?
Most
Who?
people, when they think of traditional astrology now,
Oh,
I should have finished that sentence. They think of what's being taught
sorry,
as
I just couldn't
Hellenistic
resist.
astrology. No, yeah, I should have finished that sentence because it's become such a big thing. Yeah, but
Has it?
anyway,
In whose eyes?
well,
Where? Who?
well, you know. Anyway, I just think I've built on everything I've learned. I started in astrology, self-teaching myself back in the very late 80s. I taught myself how to hand calculate a chart using table of houses. And some of the books I learned from then were very what you might call traditional, but it's all astrology to me.
Mm,
And I definitely have introduced more intuitive insights and things because I think we're realizing we're in a quantum realm now. Not just everything's not just this linear, this means that, to go back to all the polarities and the good, the bad, the this, the that. So, but I wouldn't say I don't call myself like a psychic astrologer, but I would say I became a better astrologer when I suddenly would be able to look at a chart and I'd say something to a client that I'd never read in a book because it just tingled. And that was when they would kind of be really touched. So, but that to me was more about having worked with and um, getting to know the planets over such a long time.
yeah.
What
I
about
want
you?
to backpedal slightly and just sort of say
Mm,
I have nothing against Hellenistic astrology or astrology or anybody who has anything to do with it. My point was I kind
yeah.
of resist, and this is what I was saying about us, not kissing
Mm,
anybody's ass. We
mm,
developed our own way of working. We were
yeah.
taught in a certain way, but we've taken it and we've beyond that. So,
Mm-hmm,
while we do learn Hellenistic techniques or we learn, I don't
mm-hmm,
know, you name them, we learn them, but we take what we need to
mm-hmm,
build our own practice. It's kind of
yeah.
like any other skill that you develop as you get older. So I have nothing against Hellenistic astrology, please.
No, me
It's
neither.
just, but I do take like, first of all, if you start looking through the history, it's a very male voice
Oh,
in that traditional sense.
oh,
And
good
and
Lord,
I
it
get,
is.
um,
Yes, I fight
where,
against that. Get
yeah,
very
and
twitchy. Yeah.
so I find the history, we need to get more history in. Um,
Yes.
and here in England, it's a lot of the traditional astrologers are all about William Lilly. Well, I'm afraid, and I'm going to have a little bit of, I'm trying to get this thing going where we look after William Lilly's plaque, which is
Yeah.
in Aldwych, which is just stinks of urine,
Oh.
human urine, because there's pubs all around. And it's
Mm,
just run down. It looks horrible. It's stuck in the middle of nowhere. And I'm just like, for astrologers, shouldn't be looking after our most famous astrologer,
mm,
William Lilly. So I'm trying to get some sort of campaign going where we get it cleaned up a little bit. So we can, when I take visitors on an astrological tour of London and we go to
mm.
William's Lily's plaque,
You say
we're not
you
all
say bring
plugging
a
our
pet.
noses. Yes, exactly. There is a short video. I was on Steve Judd's. I took Steve Judd's
Mm,
Shift Happens group on an
mm,
astrological tour of London, and we did go to William Lilly's plaque, and we all are plugging our noses because and watching where we step because and yet this is our most venerated
mm.
astrologer. So
And I study. I haven't read Lily particularly, but I did the School of Traditional Astrology's Horary, and so that's
me
based
too.
on Lily. And he was great, a great astrologer. But I think there has been a bit of a move for a while to because of this retranslation of a lot of these really ancient astrological texts to say that that's how it all works, and then to start to criticize the developments of modern astrology. But then I was trained primarily as an evolutionary astrologer, and I don't follow the script about that either, about past lives and the nodes and things. So I think you absorb it all over time. It's good. But there was a tendency, and still is amongst some areas, to say, they wrote this in the 4th century and this is what astrology really is. And I'm like, well, what about all the
As if
discoveries?
everything in the 4th century was so wonderful.
Yes. Yeah.
And I did go through this phase, although I'm a lot more relaxed about it now. When I started hearing the traditional astrologers talk about, oh, I don't believe in Uranus. I'm like, well, put your mobile phone down then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you don't believe in Neptune? Okay, then you go have that tooth extracted without, any sort of anesthesia. You don't believe in Pluto? I guess you don't believe in the atomic bomb either, do you? So I used to get a little bit heated up about that. But I think, in the 30 years that I've been studying astrology, we've seen a lot of people move away from that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
But it certainly was prevalent, excuse me, when I was
well,
a newbie.
And it's prevalent. Yeah, I couldn't say it for a minute.
No, it was me that said it for the first time.
About some of the more newly discovered things, and you can't include them all in a natal chart. No, you cannot for one reading. But I can add things in as they speak to me and stuff. And I get people on my page, going, "Oh no, asteroids don't have any impact." I'm like, okay, you believe that? That's fine. But I discovered kind of. Ceres was called an asteroid, and she's not. She's very different to all the asteroids. But I have very prominent asteroids in my chart, some very prominent, and they do say something. But there's even the non-ones. Asteroid Louise is, or was, exactly at the same degree as my son on the day I was born, and my parents were not astrologers, so there you go.
There's something with the asteroid Alex or Alexander. I can't remember which it is, but that's also prominent in my chart. Rick Levine at Shift Happens said something about Bill Clinton taking out a saxophone and playing on the Tonight Show, and there was an asteroid on that night that was really, that spoke that. But if you take that moment and you put the asteroid in some other moment, and it doesn't fit.
No.
But it's because that's the sky speaking. To that moment. It's not, to be transferred, translated and moved around to another experience.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, that's time and experience shows you those things. But don't you find it interesting though, Alex, how even amongst some of the old school of astrologers or whatever, Steve Judd called them in my forward in my book, that Neptune, Pluto and Uranus have become more acceptable now. They all use them, but they're really resistant to using like Ceres as a planet or Eris, for example. Eventually they kind of cave.
I think I think from how can I put this? I always feel that I have my hands full enough with Jupiter and Saturn. I could do a whole entire hour and a half of a client's chart just on Jupiter and Saturn. And it's not because I'm against using other bits.
No. That's your area.
It just doesn't, I don't have room for it. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to say, well, Ceres doesn't have any relevance. I would never say that.
No, you don't say it, but you don't have you don't have a Gemini moon opposing Jupiter in Sagittarius, so I have to learn about all the things, Alex. That doesn't mean I use all the things with all my one-on-one clients at all. This is just me researching and learning. So yeah.
No, I like to learn about them too. I just can't squeeze them in. That's all.
Yeah. I somehow do, but I have a majorly mutable chart. So.
Yeah, mine's a bit fixed. Even though I have a mutable ascendant and Venus. Okay. Oh, I think it's your turn. Number 9.
Yeah. Were there any turning points in your own chart that deeply influenced your path as a writer or astrologer?
I'm going to have to say again, it's Jupiter. I was 6 years old on my Jupiter opposition when I realized I wanted to be a teacher.
Mhm.
I moved around an awful lot when I was in my teenage years. I went to 4 different schools between the ages of 11 to 13 to
Mm.
14. So I was sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade in new schools. So I was very, had a very disjointed adolescence, which affected me for the rest of my life. I'm
Mm.
always moved around quite a bit, although I'm settled now. I
Mm.
came to England when I was on my second Jupiter return. Um, I started full-time teaching and working on Growing Pains on my third. I wrote Growing Pains on my fourth, and I wrote Zeus and Louise on my fifth, and timed it to release on an important date. So, Jupiter was at the turning points for me. Um,
Mm.
and Saturn return, my second Saturn return, I just want to say to everybody who's having their first Saturn return, Saturn
Mhm.
doesn't have to be a miserable experience. If you
Oh.
understand your Saturn and you take the lessons it has for you, it could be like taking an exam. Yes, it's nerve-wracking. Yes, it's difficult, but you can come away feeling a sense of accomplishment. And so, if you're having your first Saturn return, if
Mhm.
you expect bad things, you're going to get bad things. Expect good
Mm.
things, expect achievement, accomplishment. You'll find those things. So
Yeah.
be optimistic. I
And
just,
oh,
I just
well,
see so many
I'm
negative things
way.
about Saturn
Oh,
return on
oh, me too.
that I just
And
want to address.
neither of my Saturn returns were awful, but the second one was definitely more achievement and productive and time
Yeah.
for my great work in my third act of life kind of thing. But I can look at all the Jupiter cycles and see changes. I've moved around a lot as well because Jupiter's my guiding planet, I like to say. But also two big turning points for my work as a professional astrologer and as a writer. The first one was when we moved here, Pluto moved into Capricorn and started going right through my first house, over my Ceres, over my Saturn. And that's when I decided to become a professional astrologer and step into what I felt was truly my power. I'd studied it for decades, practiced on friends, done all these things. But then I grew up and decided to become an astrologer. But the next big step was actually my second Uranus square at 63. I won't go into detail, but I had some big events that really kind of shifted my perspective on astrology and work and how I work with clients. So to turn it into a much more kind of here's how you can break the patterns of, you know, you don't have to, you can be the best you can be in your chart, if you like, the natal promise, rather than just think, oh, this is my life kind of thing. Anyway, it was all personal experiences too, but those two transits were huge for me, I have to say. But Saturn going towards my second Saturn return went over all my Sagittarius stellium. And I remember another well known astrologer saying to me, it's time for your great work. You're having this massive extended Saturn transit. And that's when I started writing the books, finally buckling down and getting them written.
And it's a great feeling, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you have any rituals that you do at the end of writing a book? Anything that any, I don't know, any sort of habits that you have to do um to
Not
get
really.
writing, or to when you finish, to celebrate in some way? Or
Mm.
I always find that while you're thinking, I always find it
Yeah.
kind of anticlimactic when I finish writing
Yeah.
something. I
Yeah.
kind of like wonder, what am I going to do with myself now? You know, um, and all you can
So I
do is
go to
wait
the
for the.
next one.
Well, I mean, but you don't. I mean, I don't know how you feel. I don't feel ready to go on to the next one just yet, because I know the temptation, because I enjoy writing so much, is to jump into the next one. But then you got the problem of the edits will come in from the first book, and if you're
Yeah.
engrossed in writing the second book and you're in the middle of the edits of the first book, you split your purpose
Oh,
there, and you're going to find it
oh.
difficult to get anything done. So I
And
think,
so I have got the urge to write the next one, but I am
yeah,
holding back till
yeah,
this
me
one's
too.
out in the world. Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too. And coming back to my nails, sorry, I deliberately kept them because I got them done for Steve Judd's event back in May. Gave him
Oh
a little
yeah.
bit of a rest, but I kept them long specifically to stop me from getting out of my next book
Oh well.
because they interfere in my typing. I get annoyed, and it just keeps me calm. It makes me think, okay, you're not ready to start the next one because you haven't even done the launch for the Zeus
Yeah.
yet. So just calm down, Alex.
Well, mine's. I'm not actually putting fingers to keyboard yet, but the next book is all working itself inside me there. So.
Mine too. Yeah,
Mhm.
I got a title. Um,
Mhm.
my title is Inheriting the Sky, and it's looking at patterns between parent and child to do with Jupiter.
Ooh, yeah.
So
Mine's
if
called
I
The
and if
Soul's
anyone
Tea Party.
if anyone dares to take my title, I'm going to find you. I'll find you.
Yeah, actually, maybe I'm not going to say the title on that.
Well, I worried about someone stealing my title, Zeus on the Loose,
Mm,
because I started talking about it 12 years ago, but nobody
mm.
did. I don't think. I think there's a game called Zeus on the Loose, but they're two different things. So, and also I got a nice long subtitle.
Mine's called
Unlock
The
your
Soul's
child's
Tea Party, then. I'll tell you. Sorry, go on. Unlock your child's what? Potential.
Unlock Your Child's Cosmic Superpowers, my subtitle.
Ooh, I
But what
like
was
that.
it? You said your title. I was talking. I didn't.
The
If you want.
Soul's Tea Party.
Oh, nice. I love it.
Mm,
I can see yeah. It ties in well with your
mm,
your channel title, isn't it? Tea with Louise.
it does. Yes, exactly. So
I
I'll
think
ask
we've
you this.
covered our questions, whether or not we intended on,
Yeah, I think we
but
have. Just as the last one, what's next? We've kind of talked about that, but we should at least show our books again one more time. So my the hardcovers available for pre-order on Amazon now, or signed copies are available at my publishing website, which is sacredthreadsimprint.com, because I probably self-published. Kindle's available for pre-order too. Anyway, Ceres in Astrology. There you go. Out on August
lovely,
the 12th.
lovely. And my newest one is Zeus on the Loose. My
Mm.
favorite color is now purple. It used to be green. So this is I had to go with the publisher because I have another career and I didn't have time to do my own stuff, so I needed a bit of help. So I published with the Wessex Astrologer. Margaret Cahill's my publisher. My book is available on Amazon. We released it on when Jupiter ingress happened, which was in June. It's going to be celebrated on my fifth Jupiter return on the 13th of August at Waterstones. So
And leave reviews
please, you have
for
and leave
both of us.
comments. By the way, leave comments on this video as well, because that
Yes.
helps everything. I mean, I think so
Yes.
many people just watch and they don't say anything, but even if you just say hello, we'll get back to you
Yeah.
and say hi back. It just
Yeah.
helps, because I think Louise and I,
Visibility.
as astrologers, because we're not ass kissers, we have our own
Mm.
things that, we actually hope that we inspire other people to
Yeah.
follow their own path, to find,
Mhm.
their own voice, to sing their own songs.
Definitely.
Not that there's anything wrong with the classics, but it's just, you find your own voice,
Yeah, you
find your own
do.
key signature, find your
And
own rhythm.
especially in the world we're living in at the moment, this big shift in consciousness. A lot more people are going to be stepping into things they never thought were possible, I think.
And we're really seeing a big turn into, people are not finding satisfaction in religion that they used to.
Mhm.
They're finding their way to the wonder of the sky.
Yep.
Um, and so, I think, the as long as we're sensible, and not get into, just repeating what we hear on the internet, on social
Yes.
media, again, it comes down to finding your own path and singing
Yeah,
your own song.
it
So
does.
wherever you are in your astrological journey,
Mhm.
safe travels. I always say to the
Yeah.
stars at the end of my videos, wherever you are, whatever you're
Ooh, I
doing, have a
like
good
that.
one. And to the
To the
stars.
stars. But don't you like her background? She always gets
She's
in a palace today.
It's
I should have
a
put
palette. It's my house. No, I was worried. I use. I'm jokes aside. I'm using a green screen. I'll admit this now, which is why it gets a bit funny over here sometimes because of light.
Yeah.
But I was worried about the green screen. Everything else had gone wrong today. I was worried about the green screen falling down because it's actually pinned to my bulletin board back here. So I was worried that
I
at
use
some point.
I use a green screen sometimes too. So, but I quite like my Hecate. That's his Hecate.
Lovely.
My calendar. So anyway, so it's been fun, Alex.
It has always fun, and thank
Leave
you
us
so much.
comment. Okay.
Comment,
Buy our
subscribe.
books. Bye.
Bye.